Hello there guys, welcome to another of my live videos, and on this video there is lots to negotiate about. I am going to be giving you an update on some more transfer news, keeping you up to date of what players are linked with Manchester United. I always keep you up to date of what's going on, don't I, on a regular basis. Now I am going to go through with you the four players that Manchester United could possibly sign in the summer transfer window now. So I think, it's looking very, very imminent that, Manchester United are going to sign Jadon Sancho when the transfer window does reopen. I've just been reading recent reports on Jadon Sancho, and it does say that yesterday he was on Instagram. He did a live session on Instagram, and I think quite a few Manchester United fans, were looking at it and that. And I think, he's actually, told his friends, that I will be making a return to Manchester, Jadon Sancho. And, a lot of our fans are convinced that, he is on his way to Old Trafford in the summer. Don't forget, Sancho has played in Manchester before because he enjoyed 2 years with Manchester City, but never got assured any first team opportunities. And that's the main explanation why I left Manchester City to join Borussia Dortmund. Now, obviously, we've been relentlessly linked with Jadon Sancho, and obviously, we've known for quite some time now how much he's going to cost the football club. He's going to cost us at least £100 million. Probably Man United will end up paying £120 million. But reiterate what I've said before, either figure is going to make him a record signing in the Premier League, and it's going to make him our most expensive signing, because our most expensive signing at the moment is Paul Pogba, who we paid £89 million for. Don't forget, recently as well, Jadon Sancho has been, talking a lot with Marcus Rashford, and I think that's one of the other main explanations why Sancho wants to come to Man United. Reflecting on his friendship, with Marcus Rashford. But I do believe, Sancho will go well alongside Marcus Rashford and Anthony Martial in our attacking line. I think, they will make a fantastic attacking trio. But he did say as well, we're willing to offer Jadon Sancho around the other week £400,000 a week. So that's also going to make him the best paid player at the football club, as well as, our most expensive signing. I think we've got options, what number, shirt he can fulfill. But I think, Man United are willing to offer him the iconic number 7. Because like I said to you before, we've had a lot of good number 7s up and down the generations. But, Borussia Dortmund do remain ruthless over their valuation, even reflecting on this coronavirus crisis. It's not going to convince Borussia Dortmund to lower their asking price in that. But Borussia Dortmund did say if Jadon Sancho wants to leave, they will not step in his way. We've been working on his contract, and we have been in negotiations with his agent now for quite a few months. And Fabrizio Romano broke out that news quite a few weeks ago. Now, it did say last week, I think it was, or it might have been a couple of weeks ago now, that it says, if we fail to qualify for the Champions League, then Sancho may reject to move to Old Trafford, and that's the main explanation why we missed out on the player last year. But no, not only Man United have been in for him, like I mentioned, Chelsea have expressed their interest. Don't forget, Chelsea, got Christian Pulisic off Dortmund, was it last summer? Also, to Liverpool have been in for him. Very, very sceptical that Liverpool would get him anyway, because I just don't see them selling one of their attacking trio this summer. I think, they've got to sell Salah, Firmino, Mane for Jadon Sancho, to get game time week in, week out if he was to make a move to Liverpool. I think also to Real Madrid have been in for him. But yeah, I think Man United are going to sign him in the summer, and I think he's going to be our first signing when the transfer window does reopen. He is only the age of 20, so he is going to fit Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's transfer strategy perfectly, because Solskjaer still wants to continue the policy of recruiting young players in like he did do last summer. Jadon Sancho is predominantly a right winger, and of course Man United are in search for a right winger. He's been at Dortmund now quite a few years as Jadon Sancho. Think since his arrival in Germany, I've got to make an admission, he has been a revelation. Well, despite the fact he was dropped in quite a lot of games earlier on in the season, and he's still got a contract with Dortmund until 2022. But I think Sancho coming back to the Premier League is very, very beneficial for his career, definitely. But, Dortmund, of course, have got a few players on their agenda who they see as adequate replacements for him. Obviously, the tracking Ferran Torres from Valencia. I think he plays for Valencia, he's a winner. And they're also in for Jude Bellingham from Birmingham. But, Borussia Dortmund are going to make a huge profit on the player, because they only paid £7 or £8 million for him from Man City. But analyse his performances in the few years he's been with Dortmund, his valuation has persistently grown. Yes, his valuation has persistently grown and that. But yeah, so if we get Sancho on the board, I think, it'll be one of the club's best attacking trios, with Sancho going alongside Rashford and Anthony Martial, because, like I said, also Rashford's very, very good, and Rashford was one of our best players earlier on in the season. Rashford, of course, has got over 60-odd senior goals in just over 200 appearances, and Rashford has been in our senior squad since 2016. Up until this point, Rashford has spent the entirety of his career with the football club, and he has been out of a back injury for quite some time. He's been out of this back injury since our win against Wolves in the FA Cup. And Solskjaer, of course, made the wrong decision by playing, Rashford in that game, because if he hadn't done, then this injury wouldn't have materialised. But Rashford sustained a few injuries so far during his Manchester United career. Rashford can play as a number 9, he can play out wide. I think Solskjaer said before that he prefers Rashford out wide. But, Rashford made an admission, and he said, he wants Jadon Sancho at Manchester United next season. He wants him at Manchester United next season. And also to Anthony Martial, like I said, before the football season got suspended, I said I was very, very impressed with him, didn't I, Anthony Martial? I think he's got like 16 or is it 17 goals this season. I just think what we need to do with Anthony Martial is, we need to find him a permanent position. Because obviously, he predominantly plays out wide on the left. But this season we've been playing Anthony Martial in that number 9 role. And Martial now is into his 5th season at the football club. I think one of the best seasons he enjoyed was under Louis van Gaal era. That's one of the best seasons Anthony Martial enjoyed. We paid £36 million to him from Monaco, potentially rising up to 57 or 58 million based on goals and achievements. And don't forget, he scored on his debut in the 3-1 win against Liverpool, did the player. But yeah, so should we keep Martial in number 9, or should we put him back out on the left? I think he's the long-term future for Man United. I know he's been subjected to transfer speculation in the past, and he is now 24, is Anthony Martial. But Sancho going alongside them two players would be absolutely fantastic. So I can almost assure that Manchester United are going to sign Jadon Sancho, even though reports did say that, he wasn't interested in a move to Man United last week, was it? And he prefers a move to Barcelona or Real Madrid because he's got a greater chance of winning the Ballon d'Or. But, I think, we can get the right players, that we want to recommend in when the transfer window reopens, and that's, providing that we get qualification for the Champions League. So, yes, I think, Jadon Sancho is one of the 4 players that Man United, could sign in the summer transfer window. Now, another player, that Manchester United could possibly sign, I'm not going to fully disregard it, but there again, I'm not fully convinced, that we're going to sign him, but I think we could possibly sign him, and that is Harry Kane. Now, I gave you the breaking news, didn't I, on Harry Kane on my video yesterday, and I've been talking with you guys about Harry Kane on a regular basis. Now, obviously, last month, Harry Kane had come out and made an admission, and he did say that he could decide to leave Tottenham if, they failed to match his ambition. Now, Harry Kane has revealed his ambition, and his ambition is to win some silverware. And obviously, he hasn't experienced this, during his time with Tottenham. And Harry Kane has been at Tottenham for several years. He was in their youth academy for a good 4 to 5 years. And I think, he's been in their senior squad since like 2011. I think he broke into their senior squad at the age of 16. And now Kane is is he 26 years of age or 27? And he did say, Harry Kane, he will not stay at Tottenham for the sake of it. Now, reports were emerging out yesterday saying that Harry Kane has been offered to Manchester United, and Daniel Levy, the Tottenham chairman, said that Tottenham will let Harry Kane leave in the summer, providing, you know, that their asking price is met. And Tottenham have said, you know, they want a world record fee of £200 million for Harry Kane. But I'm actually, in a way, sceptical, you know, that Manchester United would pay up to £200 million for Harry Kane. Now, like I said to you before, Daniel Levy is a very, very hard negotiator when it comes to recruiting players from Tottenham. But there again, he's a very, very good businessman. We've done business with Tottenham in the past. You know, we got Dimitar Berbatov off them. We also got Michael Carrick off them, because Michael Carrick endured 12 years at Manchester United. But Tottenham, you know, have got financial worries. So looking to get 200 million, you know, to ease off their financial worries, because take into account Tottenham are still paying for their £1 billion stadium. So I think they are around 630 odd million on the stadium loan, and I think around £83 million in transfer fees. Now, without a shadow of a doubt, Harry Kane is Tottenham's best player. Harry Kane has 181 goals in 261 appearances in all competitions, and in just under 200 Premier League appearances, he has 136 Premier League goals. So he's actually, you know, Tottenham's third highest goal scorer in their history is Harry Kane. Now, obviously, you know, Harry Kane's injury prone, so that's also another element of concern. And Kane has been out with a hamstring injury since New Year's Day. He's been out with this hamstring problem. Harry Kane, by the way, still got like 4 years remaining on his current contract with Tottenham. So he's under contract with them till 2024. Because back in the summer of 2018, Harry Kane had signed a 6-year deal with Tottenham. But he obviously, you know, he got loaned out to quite a few clubs. You know, he obviously had a loan spell with Leicester, Leyton Orient, Millwall and Norwich. So he's been loaned out at quite a few clubs as Harry Kane. But the reports that were coming out yesterday are totally comparison to the ones that were coming out the other week. Because the other week it did say that Daniel Levy has got no intentions of selling Harry Kane. But Harry Kane, you know, reflect on his admission, has fueled quite a lot of speculation. Now, also too, Real Madrid have been in for Harry Kane. Don't forget, you know, Real Madrid have done business with Tottenham, in the past. Because don't forget, Real Madrid got Gareth Bale off them for £85 million 7 years ago. That was back in 2013. I think then it was a record signing. They also got Luka Modric off Tottenham, did Real Madrid. And Real Madrid, you know, have got quite a few players on their agenda. Despite the fact that they signed around, was it 5 or 6 players last summer? I think last summer Real Madrid signed Eden Hazard, Luka Jovic, Rodrigo, Ferland Mendy, Eden Militao. So they're the players, you know, that they did sign. Real Madrid are also looking to offload players, you know, like I said, they're looking to offload James Rodriguez. They're looking to, of course, offload Gareth Bale. Looking to get rid of Dani Ceballos on a permanent transfer. So, yeah. But I did say, didn't I, if Kane leaves Tottenham, I think, you know, he will make a move to Real Madrid. But also Juventus have been in for him. Also, too, Manchester City have been in for Harry Kane. But if he leaves Tottenham, then maybe he could, you know, continue applying his trade in the Premier League. Now, of course, Tottenham... I've lost a few of their imperative players. You know, don't forget, back in the January transfer window, they lost Christian Eriksen after he endured 7 years with Tottenham. He was a long-serving player. He left Tottenham to join Inter Milan, don't forget. Obviously, you know, Danny Rose went out on loan to Newcastle. So, yeah, they have lost quite a few of their imperative players. But Tottenham have had a few injuries this season, so they've had to make rotation. But Harry Kane is obviously unhappy now at Tottenham, but he's remained loyal to them for several years. Tottenham can't win anything in terms of silverware this season because they're not in the FA Cup and they're not in the Champions League. I think Tottenham, you know, made a mistake getting rid of Mauricio Pochettino. Mauricio Pochettino endured 5.5 years with Tottenham. And analysing the vast majority of his tenure, Tottenham were competing in and out of the top 4. I think, you know, a couple of times, you know, they became title contenders. Don't forget, Pochettino got Tottenham to their first ever Champions League final last season. But they made a mistake recommending Mourinho in. I think Tottenham are very, very critical of him. The vast majority of their fans want Jose Mourinho out. But yeah, so there's a possibility chance, that we could sign Harry Kane. But we're known for overpaying for players in recent years anyway, so it wouldn't surprise me if we did end up paying £200 million for Kane. Obviously, we paid 89 million for Pogba. We paid 80 million for Harry Maguire. He's the second most expensive sign at the club and the most expensive centre half in the world. We also paid 50 million for Fred. We paid 40 million for Matic, 45 million pounds for Wan-Bissaka. So we are known for overpaying for players in recent years. So that's the latest news on Harry Kane. But like I said to you, there's much cheaper solutions than Harry Kane. There's been a few other strikers on our agenda, like I said to you. Timo Werner, he's a much cheaper solution than Harry Kane. He's going to cost 4 times less than Harry Kane because Timo Werner's available for around £50 million. Recently, the RB Leipzig chief executive, he came out and said that, he's convinced that Timo Werner will remain at RB Leipzig for next season. Liverpool have been emerged as the favourites to sign Timo Werner because don't forget, was it back in February, Sky in Germany come out and they said that, Werner was talking a lot about Liverpool and Jurgen Klopp. So that did, fuel a lot of speculation up. But for Werner to go to Liverpool, like I said, Liverpool will have to sell one of their attacking trio. Werner's now into his 4th season with RB Leipzig. I think he's in his 4th season. Has around 27 goals in 36 games this season. He's got a contract with Leipzig until 2023. And he's only the age of 24. Plus, he can play in more than one position. So his versatility is very, very good. Also, to Erling Haaland. He'd be a much cheaper solution, than Harry Kane. Haaland, I think, would cost around 62 or 63 million because that's his release clause with Borussia Dortmund. It was a shame that, we didn't get Erling Haaland back in the January transfer window because I said, didn't I, he would have been an Ole Gunnar Solskjaer type signing because Solskjaer has worked, with Erling Haaland in the past during his time with Molde. And 3 years ago, Solskjaer was the one that gave Erling Haaland his debut at just the age of 16. At just the age of 16 and that. We know the couple of main explanations why his move to Man United in January didn't materialise. But since his arrival at Dortmund, he's done really, really well. In total, he's got 40 goals this season. I think he's got 12 goals in his last 11 with Dortmund. But the 40 goals is including the goals that he did score for Red Bull Salzburg. Another reason it's a shame we didn't get him because he was a cheap solution. He was available for around £17 million in January, was Erling Haaland. Even, Aubameyang's a much cheaper solution than Harry Kane. Aubameyang's available for around 35 million now because Arsenal knocked £15 million off their asking price. But, revert back to what I said, Kane could happen. Obviously, we got a player from North London back in 2012, and that was Robin van Persie. And at one point, it was looking very, very unlikely, that we was going to sign. It was looking unlikely we were going to sign Van Persie, but we ended up signing him. And look what he did. He enjoyed one good season with the football club. You can say, reflect on the goals he scored. He won us the league in, Alex Ferguson's last season, which was back in 2013 and that. So, yeah, Kane's a possibility chance. Jack Grealish, I think, he's another player that Manchester United could sign. Definitely, I think he's another player that Manchester United could sign. We've been relentlessly linked with Jack Grealish. Darren Bent, he came out yesterday and he said he's got the option of 3 clubs. So Darren Bent does believe that Jack Grealish will leave Aston Villa. He'll join either Manchester United, Manchester City, or he will join Tottenham. Don't forget, revert back to the summer of 2018. Tottenham, came close, I think, to getting Jack Grealish for around £25 million. Now, I think, Jack Grealish would be a great addition to the squad if he was to come in. Jack Grealish, will cost us around 60, 70, maybe even £80 million. If Villa, were to avoid relegation. But if Villa were to get relegated, then I think, he wouldn't cost as much as that. Maybe then we could get him on the cheap. Maybe we could get him for maybe 30, 40, maybe £50 million if Villa were to get relegated. Villa, I think, will want to do everything they can to convince him to stay. But even if Villa, were to avoid relegation, I don't think that'd be enough to convince Jack Grealish to stay. Now, of course, Jack Grealish has spent the vast majority of his career with Aston Villa, so he has remained loyal to them for several years. He's been a Villa player since the age of 6. He's been in their senior squad since 2014, and since then he's become an integral part of Aston Villa's team. Definitely. And I've got to say, he has flourished under Dean Smith's guidance. Jack Grealish has got around 3 years remaining on his contract with Aston Villa. I don't think there's a buyout clause inserted, by the way. But Grealish is only the age of 24. He's predominantly an attacking mid, can occasionally play as a winger. Maybe his move to Man United hinges on the sale of Paul Pogba. But people are saying, like we should sign Jack Grealish and we should sell Paul Pogba. But I think there's a lot more chance for, getting Grealish than there is of James Maddison. Quite a few people that have instructed us to prioritise signing Grealish over James Maddison. But he's another player, that Manchester United could sign. He's another one. And I've been reading recent reports as well. And Joe Rodon from Swansea has been put into the equation. I've just read this in Sky Sports. It was also in The Sun. And it says that Manchester United are interested in Joe Rodon from Swansea. And reportedly, we are emerged as the favourites to sign the player. It also says that Manchester City have expressed an interest in him. Now, he is a centre-back, and Solskjaer is in search for a centre-half. Even though we have got a lot of centre-halves in the team. Obviously we've got Harry Maguire and Victor Lindelof that are our first-choice centre-halves. We've got Bay and Tuanzebe that are our backup centre-halves. We've got Phil Jones, who's another centre-half we've got, but I think he's one of the players that's likely to leave Manchester United in the summer. But yeah, so Solskjaer's in search for a centre-half. So, do you think Joe Rodon, would be the right calibre player? He is only at the age of 22. He is 6'4", so he's also very, very tall. So I do believe he must be very effective in the air. He's been an integral part of Swansea's team in the past 2 seasons. I think he's played around 48 games in the Championship for Swansea. He joined their youth academy in 2005, did Joe Rodon, and I think he was in their youth academy for a good 11 years or so, was the player. And since he got into their first team, he's just become an integral part of Swansea's first team as the player. Don't forget, we did business with Swansea last summer, because we got Daniel James off them for around £15 million. And like I said to you, some players that come from the Championship to the Premier League tend to do really, really well. Joe Rodon, of course, is Welsh. I think he made his Wales debut last September under Ryan Giggs. I also want to say as well, he had a loan spell with Cheltenham Town. And Joe Rodon is valued at around £20 million. So he's another player, that Manchester United could sign in the summer transfer window. So so it is good, that Man United are making plans, for the summer. I do believe Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will be Manchester United manager next season. Solskjaer, of course, at the moment has been at the football club for around 16 months. So he has been here over a year, including the time, of course, when he was the interim manager. And he's been permanent Manchester United manager now for 12 months. Now, obviously, so far, Solskjaer has endured 3 transfer windows at Manchester United. He didn't recruit anyone in his first transfer window, but in the past 2 windows, he's recruited 5 players in and spent around £220 million. As you all know, our transfer budget's been revealed. We're going to get given around £150 million to spend this summer. Do you think £150 million is enough? But put into the equation, we're going to sell around 5 or 6 players, so our transfer budget will increase. And Solskjaer, did say last week, was it, that when the transfer window reopens, he says, we will exploit the transfer market. And Solskjaer's very, very convinced, that we can get the players that we want in. We can get the players that we want in because he knows that a lot of teams are under financial pressure due to this coronavirus, so teams, of course, are going to have to offload some of their players. But Solskjaer believes Man United need around 4 signings this summer to become title contenders next season, and Solskjaer's identified the areas, where he thinks Manchester United do need to strengthen up. Yes, he has in that. But the players he's, considering getting rid of, Phil Jones, he's one player that I expect to go. I expect Jesse Lingard to go. I also expect Andres Pereira to go because they're also two liabilities at the football club. I also expect Man United to get rid of Marcus Rojo on a permanent transfer. I already gave you the news, didn't I, regarding Alexis Sanchez recently. Sanchez, of course, is now set to stay at Manchester United. Now, the main explanation for this is because Sanchez is refusing to take a pay cut from his wages. And so, looking likely, Sanchez is going to come back to Man United after his loan spell with Inter Milan and see out the remainder of his contract with the club until 2022. Sanchez did endure a difficult 18 months with Man United, and he had a lot of injuries during his time with Man United. And his wages were at Man United, £400,000 a week, potentially rising up to 500,000, based on, the bonuses and the image rights and that. So his wages were having a really bad effect on the club. But even despite the fact now he's on loan at Inter Milan, we're still paying the vast majority of Sanchez's wages. But Paul Merson's give his verdict on it recently. Paul Merson does believe that Man United should give him a second chance at the club, and he believes Sanchez could rediscover, his form at Man United, what he did at Barcelona and what he did at Arsenal, because Sanchez did enjoy a good 3.5, 4 years with Arsenal. He also did well under Pep Guardiola's guidance at Barcelona when he was younger, so it's looking likely, he's going to be coming back. So yeah, we'll get rid of around 5 or 6 players in the summer, but Solskjaer has got rid of a lot of the deadwood anyway since he's come in. I think around 9 players have left in total since he got recommended into the football club. But definitely Solskjaer does deserve at least a couple of more transfer windows, because it is a transition period, and like Solskjaer revealed at the beginning of the year, he's hopeful that we can get through this transition period and that. But, like I said, it takes some managers, time to settle in, and, Solskjaer, should follow Sir Alex Ferguson's method of, building, building the next great Manchester United team and that. But, take into account, Ferguson didn't win out in his first 4 years at Manchester United when we recommended him in from Aberdeen. And he was 1 game away from getting the sack, but he didn't. Then look what he went and accomplished, after not winning out in his first 4 years. The vast majority of our silverware we've won, obviously, came under Alex Ferguson. Ferguson, of course, endured 26, 27 years at Man United. Jurgen Klopp, he didn't settle in straight away at Liverpool. His record was disastrous at the first, but, Liverpool bided their time, and look, where he's got himself now. He has emulated himself to that level as Jurgen Klopp. So I think Solskjaer, just deserves more time at Manchester United, and, we have been playing catch-up for the last 6 or 7 years. We've had, different managers with different philosophies. Obviously, of course, we sacked Moyes, we sacked Van Gaal, we sacked Jose Mourinho, but in the managerial eras, a hell of a lot of money has been invested into the football club. We've spent nearly £1 billion on recruiting new players in the last 6 or 7 years, and we've recruited over 30 odd players in since the Alex Ferguson era. Moyes only managed to recommend 2 players in. He brought Fellaini and Juan Mata. Fellaini's no longer here now though, but Juan Mata's still here. You had Van Gaal. He brought a hell of a lot of players in, but also got rid of a lot of players. Got rid of a lot of the players that, we had under Alex Ferguson and stuff like that. But Van Gaal brought players like Depay in, he brought Daley Blind in, he brought Falcao in, he brought Schneiderlin in, he brought Schweinsteiger in, he brought Di Maria in and stuff like that. So Van Gaal did bring a hell of a lot of players in, and we did win the FA Cup under Louis Van Gaal era, and, Jose Mourinho, he recruited 11 players in, and there's still 9 of those players here now from the Jose Mourinho era. Mourinho endured 2.5 years at Man United, did win 2 trophies in his first season. But taking into account, Solskjaer is inheriting, players, that other managers have brought in. So he is still in the process of rebuilding this Manchester United team and that. But I think, within the next maybe 2 to 3, maybe 4 years, something like that, we can, win the Premier League. We haven't won the Premier League since 2013, so we haven't, won it for 7 years. We haven't won it, for 7 years and that. But yeah, so there is a lot of players on our agenda. There's a lot of players on our agenda in that, and you know, it should just be interesting. It'll be interesting to see, you know, who we can sign in the summer transfer window. Don't forget as well, you know, we have got players on, you know, big contracts at the club. You've got Pogba on 300 grand a week. I think you've got Rashford on 200 grand a week. With 300 grand a week if you want to include the bonuses. I think you've got Harry Maguire on 200 odd grand a week. I think Bruno Fernandes on like 100 odd thousand pounds a week. You've got De Gea on £375,000 a week, the highest paid goalkeeper in the world, the best paid goalkeeper in the world, yeah. Lingard's on over 100 odd grand a week at the football club. So, yeah, we have got players on big contracts at Manchester United. I've been keeping you up to date, haven't I? You know, what's been going on with Paul Pogba. Obviously, you know, I'll talk with you a bit more about Paul Pogba in one of my next videos that I do. I think he's probably expected to leave Manchester United as well, but it isn't fully assured that he's going to leave as yet. But it is good that we are making plans. Solskjaer's got the backing of Ed Woodward, and he's also, of course, got the backing of the Glazers. So that's obviously, you know, that's very, very good news. But I've already said to you, know, the positives to take from Solskjaer's tenure so far and the negatives to take from his tenure. But yeah, and he's also promoted the youth very, very well because the young players have been given their opportunities this season, which is also positive. So anyway, guys, drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.